So let's get this straight. Jesus is the son of Joseph, and Jesus is the son of a man named David. Yet no one says that Joseph is David. And we all know that King Solomon is named after his father. Therefore, he also goes by the name of David, whom Jesus is the son of. And we all know that Solomon built the ark just like Moses. And we all know that Jesus follows the laws of Moses. Therefore, Jesus did not give the commandments to Moses. In other words, Jesus is not God. So let's read. I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord, which is the house of David. Notice it doesn't say the house of Jesus. Because of the house of the Lord our God, I will seek thy good, where you will find the root of David, Haile Selassie I, also known as Heli. So, and Jacob begat Joseph, the husband of Mary. So Jacob, whom is Israel, is together at the same time with Jesus. So now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children. That's why Joseph shall thou reign over us and shall have dominion over us, because he's Christ himself. And he's from the house of Jehovah, in the courtyards of the house of our God. Praise Jah, for Jehovah is good. Make melody to his name. And his name is Jacob. His name is also Israel. So Jacob is Israel. Therefore, he begat Joseph. So that would make Jacob David, because Joseph is from the city of David, because he was the house and the family of David. So Joseph, who goes by the name of Solomon, is also named David. That would make him the son of Heli, because Joseph is the son of Heli, who was together with Jesus. So let's watch. The youngest David was out tending the sheep. Thus David came into the king's service. The young David, because you remember King David named his favorite son Solomon after himself. Therefore, he is the young David. Therefore, there are two Davids. So as you can clearly see, Psalm 72 is a psalm of Solomon. Endow the king with your justice, O God, the royal son with your righteousness. May he judge your people with righteousness, you afflicted ones with justice. So the son of Jesse, Solomon, will be given gold from Sheba. So may the kings of Sheba and Seba present him to gifts. May all the kings bow down to him, and all the nations. In other words, to the end of times. This way his name could live long. So may it continue as long as the sun. Then all the nations blessed through him. Praise be to God, the God of Israel. Why? Because the God of Israel made him. So may gold from Sheba be given him. And we all know too, Ezekiel 38, that Sheba is supposed to be here in the latter times. So Solomon, who also goes by the name of Joseph, is supposed to be here in the latter times, or to the ends of the world. Or may he rule from sea to sea and from the river to the ends of the earth. In other words, he's supposed to be here in the end of times. So within the Apocrypha, which is translated out of the Ethiopian original tongues, you will find in the book of Esdras, Solomon. So holy ark of the holy ark of the Lord in the house that King Solomon, the son of David, had built. In other words, Solomon is supposed to be here at the end of times with King David. So David, the king of Israel, is together with Solomon, his son. Solomon, his son, goes by the name of Esdras. So Esdras, the priest who built the ark, is together with Jesus, the son of Joseph, or Jesus, the son of Josedek. So as you clearly see, Esdras, the priest and reader, he would bring the law of God Moses that was given of the Lord God of Israel. In other words, Esdras is Moses. So on the first day of the 7th month, that's when the law was spoken. So they heard the law in the first day of the 7th month. And who heard the law? Jesus. So Jesus was there with Esdras, also known as Moses, also known as Solomon, also known as Joseph, also known as David, at the same time that his father was reading the law. So that day is holy unto the Lord, for they all wept when they heard the Lord. This day is holy unto the Lord. So who is the Lord? The Lord is the father of Esdras. So this is the book of the prophet Esdras, the son of Sarias, Azarias, Helkias, Sadomias, Sadak, Achitob, Phinehas, Heli. In other words, Heli is all those names. And there you will find the son of Aaron. Why? Because he's from the tribe of Levi. So Jesus is together with the son of Aaron from the tribe of Levi. And they will be together after the people were brought out of bondage. So unto whom I will give the leader Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Because all these are God names. God has many, many names. So Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Osias, Amos, Michias, Joel, Abdias, Jonas, Nahum, Habakkuk, Sophonias, Agias, Zechariah, Malachi, which is called also an angel of the Lord. Remember, God has the highest title of all angels. He's called the Seraph. So he is the angel of the Lord himself. And when are they all supposed to be here? So I received the charge of the Lord. Upon the mount I shall go on to Israel. And they despise the commandment of the Lord. And therefore I say unto you, O you heathen that hear and understand, look for your shepherd. He shall give you everlasting rest, for he is nigh at hand. In other words, it's supposed to be here at the end of Revelation. That shall come in the end of the world. Be ready to the reward of the kingdom, for the everlasting light shall shine upon you forevermore. Remember, Esdras went away for 40 days. So in 40 days, they wrote 204 books. And it came to pass, when the 40 days were fulfilled, the highest spoke, saying, the first that thou hast written, publish openly, that the worthy and unworthy may read it. But keep the 70 last, that thou mayest deliver them only to such as to be wise among the people. For in them is a spring of understanding, the fountain of wisdom, and the stream of knowledge. And there you will find Jesus, the son of Sirach. After the people had been led away captive and called home again, and almost after all the prophets. Now his grandfather Jesus, as he himself witnesseth, was a man of great diligence. The first Jesus died. Then Sirach his son gave the book unto his own son Jesus. So Jesus did imitate Solomon. And look what it says. My grandfather Jesus, when he had much given himself to the reading of the law and the prophets and the other books of our fathers. So the grandfather Jesus is the son of Joseph. So Joseph conceived Jesus. Most Christians understand Joseph was the true father in every way. Who was Jesus' biological father? Joseph is listed as Jesus' parent and father. And indeed, through Joseph's lineage, Jesus is shown to have been a descendant of King David. Why? Because Joseph is the son of King David. Joseph is Solomon himself. And we all know that Jesus was born in the spring, in the late spring. So let's see what Rome did. The earliest source stating December 25th as the date of birth of Jesus was by a Roman, written very early in the 3rd century, based on the assumption that the conception of Jesus took place in the spring equinox, which he placed on March 25th, and then he added 9 months to it. So it's Rome made up that December 25th. But in reality, the real Christ is Solomon, who goes by the name of Joseph, the favored son of Israel. So according to biblical narrative, Solomon, they don't know his birthday. The conventional dates of Solomon, they don't know his birthday. You know why? Because he's supposed to be here at the end of times. So notice the sons of Jesse in the Bible. Notice you will not see Solomon. Why? Because his name is David, just like Psalm 72 states. At the end of Psalm 72, this concludes the prayers of David, the son of Jesse. In other words, Solomon is David. Because Solomon is the son of Jesse. So as you can clearly see, you don't see Solomon as listed as the 7 sons of Jesse. Why? Because he is David. So they list him as David. In other words, there are two Davids. So let's watch. Don't forget.
And there's one thing you have to get to your mind and keep it. Nothing that ever came from the European mind was meant to do anything but facilitate European domination of the world. And I said there's no exception. Everything that was brought into this continent, everything, every idea, every so-called religion was meant to dominate.
They changed time. You see, the original Ethiopian Bible was not in the Old and New Testament format. Therefore, characters you taught died thousands of years ago is meant to be here now. Do you know this?
Ethiopia is the cradle of humankind. In this sense, we are all Ethiopians.
In other words, we were all born in Zion. We all come from Ethiopia. Therefore, our king must be black.
1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 12.
Now, we all familiar with this. Go ahead.
And he sent and brought him in. Now he was ruddy and with all of a beautiful countenance, and goodly to look to.
So this is talking about King David. So I went out and spent, I had to buy the Bible. I bought the New Living Translation Bible for that one verse. Put it on the screen. So this is the Holy Bible, New Living Translation. I only bought it for that one verse. Now let's go to it and zoom in on it.
So Jesse sent for him. He was dark and handsome with beautiful eyes.
You see how they translated ruddy? Dark. Dark. So they know, but you don't think the scholars know the Hebrews, King David, and with dark-skinned people?
Look, King David right here, the root of David. In other words, the king himself.
He became governor of a province. In 1928, he led the troops that killed Empress Zovitu's husband, who was not of royal blood, and became regent.
If you're the root of David, that means you are David. Like, you are David. So this is literally the king of all kings, King David. And he's supposed to have a son called Solomon or Joseph or David, Esdras, Moses. And he's supposed to have a son called Jesus. And then Jesus is supposed to have a son called Sirach. And then Sirach is going to give his book on to Jesus, the last of one of the last prophets.
He became emperor on November 2nd, 1930, and was crowned Haile Selassie I.
Heli.
King of kings, King of Zion, conquering lion of the seed of Judah.
Israel himself, because only Israel could conquer the seeds of Judah. He's the one who created Judah.
Power of the Trinity.
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, God himself. How we know this? Because Ethiopia.
It is said in history that the oldest quote-unquote Bible in the world is called the Ethiopic Bible, meaning the Bible that's out of Ethiopia, because they have all the scriptures in there.
And it was not in the Old and New Testament format. It was just one big book. So they changed up the story. Just like they said, God told the man in white to drink the wine but never get married. Then he turns around and tells the man in black to never drink wine but to get 4 wives. In other words, these people under the Roman calendar changed up God's story. And they don't bring up Ethiopia. That's why people are lost, for example.
You know, I know the Caribbean people is always a set of educated people, and we is a bright set of people, you know. If they have nobody in the world brighter than Caribbean people. And I go show them how bright all is. Rolf's mother had 3 sons, Tom, Dick, and... Now, it's Tom, Dick, and Rolf. Remember what I tell all you, I said Rolf's mother.
Hello. Don't forget, follow Jah, not man. Pay attention.
Know your role and try learn your line. In a this time you cannot move like you're blind. No